student building a project, but really, it's about why people keep creating things when everything already exists. It's about the engineering mindset. It's about wanting to build. It's about creation, ambition, drive, greed, dissatisfaction, and all the inherent human flaws. Why Frankenstein failed? He didn't believe in himself. He beat nature, he beat death, and then he became afraid. He ran away like a coward. You think Mark Zuckerberg stopped when people hated him for Face Smash? This is what me and him share. We're not afraid of society, we're not afraid of criticism. We're not weirdos, we're eccentrics. This is my product, this is my moment, and I'm not gonna let that happen to me. One of the things I've learned is that literature follows an idea, and it's the idea that the journey is always better than the destination. And it's one of the lessons in Foster's How to Read Literature Like a Professor, as well as The Singing Silence, the short story. And it's something I've definitely picked up on and tried to show throughout this film. Huxley predicted a world where people constantly chase comfort. A perfectly fine world, may I add, a world that technology can help us get close to. So why can't I be the one to build it? But literature, it's helped me to realize something, that the problem isn't technology. It isn't enjoyment, it isn't soma. The problem is us. We always want to try something new, and this insatisfaction gets the best of us. This film is my first foray into sort of filmmaking and directing, and I thought that it would be a really intriguing plot to explore because it's something that's still relevant to today's world and stands to be a metaphor for things like change, but it still makes the process interesting, or at least I hope it does. And that is the motive, to use metaphor, right? To help understand something in a way that is more effective and in a way that's more entertaining. I was really changed by, I think, grade 12 English, where I was introduced to the idea of storytelling, as well as this theme of people letting ambition get the best of them. And it's something that I've seen in some of my favorite films to date. Of course, the famous example being Frankenstein, and Oppenheimer, but as well as Jurassic Park. I think Jurassic Park stands to be one of the best movies of all time, and it serves as a thrilling yet profound tale about the consequences of unchecked ambition and the dangers of playing God, with so many complex themes and commentary, which still stands today about the dangers of technology. And of course, the famous Jeff Goldblum quote where he says, "Your scientists were so preoccupied with finding out whether they could that they didn't stop to think whether they should." And I can reveal to you the pages upon pages of notes I took on Jurassic Park while analyzing it for research for this film. But anyways, the thing with Jurassic Park, though, is that it could be a horror film, right, with the tone that it takes, but it doesn't. And I remember reading Stephen King's perspective on why we crave horror movies, and while I do think that it can act as a release and be as entertaining, I think that it's rather overshadowed by the true fact, which is that the best horror movies, in my opinion, and the box office to an extent, is that they can act as a release, sure, but it goes to show and examine the detriments of human behavior and human flaws to an extreme. And this is proven by the likes of like Obsession and Backrooms, which are currently blazing the box office as we speak. They're not just random jump-scary, gory content. They're well-written and well-made films, which examine various themes like the ideas of love, loss, and grief, and how those ideas can drive people to the edge of sanity. And it's like Pearl with ambition, or The Shining with loneliness, isolation, and there's so many other great examples that I could go on and on about. Same thing with my inspirations with the film and what my movie immersion actually encompasses, but I'll let this film speak for itself. So you should definitely see it in theaters this July. And in case I don't see ya, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.